quite seeing where I'm going. Darkness overtaking me. As I mentioned earlier, I do my best thinking when I'm doing my dishes, walking my dog, slicing up strawberries. Here I am washing my dishes, thinking about what I had mentioned to you in my prior video, addressing all of you folks who are either thinking of starting a YouTube channel or have already begun one and are experiencing technical difficulties of one sort or another. But a lot of the difficulties that we face whenever we start a new venture is, as I mentioned earlier, fear of failure. And touched a little bit on not getting support from our friends and family. You know, your friends and family fear your failure as much as you do, if not more. And so they kind of hightail it a little bit and keep a low profile, and they don't want you to bring the subject up to them, because then they have to lie to you, because they don't want to tell you that your video is crappy. So they avoid the situation. You know what the best thing to do is? Don't talk to your friends about it. Don't talk to your family about it. Just quietly do it on your own. Learn from your mistakes. And keep watching videos such as this. That will inspire you to do better, because that's what you got to do. If you've already begun, you've got to do better than what you've been doing. That's what I've got to do. And you know how someone becomes guilty by association? Well, your friends don't want to feel that guilt. If you fail, they don't want to be having to they don't want to be saying to you, well, I told you so. You know, you'd never do it. They don't want to tell you that. But they also don't want to be associated with the failure for having shared your video or having given you even likes or subscribed to your channel. Because that puts them on the spot. And you know, you might have one or two really good friends who will subscribe and who will share you, but they're going to be discreet with who they share you with, simply because they don't want to be criticized by their friends. It's a vicious cycle. That's the way it works. But you know, you can't hold it against, if they're not discussing it with you, if they're avoiding the issue of your channel, or if they're trying to say, yeah, but how much money did you make? And all that stuff. Well, they just don't know how to deal with your potential failure. And you know what? You could fail. I could fail. We all could fail. But you know what? There are a lot of people who haven't failed. Well, failed to the point of giving up, I mean. Every one of us fails in our startup, because hey, are we movie makers, filmmakers? No, for the most part, none of us are. Do we know how to mix audio down? Not really. It's all trial and error. And do we know how to make good content? Initially, well, we might watch a few videos and and take our notes down, but the critical thing for that is you've got to follow through on it. Because if you just say, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea," and yeah, I'll take note of that, but then you don't follow through. For instance, writing a script. My last video that I did on this, I didn't write a script on it. I just went with what was in my thoughts at the time. For this video, I wrote, a couple of notes for a script. And this here has come to my mind too. Your friends could be jealous of you. Not that you're having great success, but they're jealous of the courage that it takes to do it. And they don't have the balls to do it themselves. So they will try and enable you to fail by not supporting you. That's a possible reality. I'd say don't hold it against them, because there's a lot to say about doing it against all the odds. It's the underdog winning the fight, and that's who you are right now. You're the underdog. In the last couple of days, I've heard two different people give two different numbers as to how many video uploads there are a day on YouTube. One said 400 per minute. Gee, multiply that by 60. That's 2,400 new videos every hour. So I don't even want to try the multiplication in my head of what 2,400 times 24 is, but it's a lot. You're looking at a lot. And the other one said 500 per minute. What if it's only 200 per minute? That's a lot of competition. So if you're coming out with stuff that isn't quite par compared to what people are already watching, then you can't expect to get tons of views. You can't expect to get the viewer retention. Another thing I read just last night, and this is from Google themselves, saying that the average retention rate is 10 seconds per video. And I believe that. I'm pretty picky about what I watch. I'm sure you must be pretty picky about what you watch. Just take note of how long you stick around if you are viewing something that you don't like. What I typically do is click my mouse on the slide bar, and I'll give it about 6 or 8 clicks across the screen to see if there's going to be anything in this video that's going to captivate me. That takes maybe 5 seconds to do. And so if I'm only giving 5 seconds and the average is giving 10 seconds, well, possibly overall people are getting a minute's worth of view time from their video if they're lucky. Now, I've got, as I said, about 13 videos up, and some as recently as 3 or 4 days ago that I published. And in comparison to what my first few videos did, I'm growing in leaps and bounds. It's actually pretty exciting, although my views and my audience retention is a spit in the bucket compared to the guys and gals who are being hugely successful at it. But that's neither here nor there. I'm in the middle of my learning area. But what I wanted to say was my average retention rate at the moment, about a week ago, it was 1 minute and 42 seconds per view, which is in comparison to the industry average of 10 seconds. I guess I'm getting 14 times as much. viewer retention as the average. So that's encouraging. But it has since, in the last week, it has dropped down to 1 minute and 30 seconds. And I know exactly why that happened. I just put up my video thumbnail for the introduction to my channel, and it's 1 minute and 30 seconds and it's been getting a lot of views. So that video is holding them to the end. Yahoo! So that one was short and to the point, and it's getting full view, and it had something to offer, information about who I am. And everybody will tell you what you've got to do. You know, they say to be succinct and get to the point and give value and either educate or influence or inspire or entertain. A few other things I just can't think of off the top of my head. But, you know, if you're not doing those things, or if you're trying to do them and you're not doing them correctly, then you've got to go back to the drawing board and see what you're doing wrong. Look at other videos that you admire and see what they're doing. You know, people are talking about thumbnails, and I didn't even know what the heck a thumbnail was when I started this a few months back. But it's important. Another thing that's important is putting a few words in your thumbnail picture. Things like that you're going to learn as you go. I'm hopefully going to be able to share some information with you that will encourage you not to quit, because quitting is not what we should do, even though it's a struggle. And my next few videos, I'm going to show you, this is laughable actually, but you know, there are these you know, very successful YouTubers who are showing you their analytics, and you know, I looked at a screen today of like 200 and some thousand minutes of view time on this one particular video that someone has out there, and jeepers, I'm struggling to get 50 minutes. So I'm going to show you the analytics of what it looks like when you're just starting out. And so I've been taking pictures of my computer screen for the last month or so, and I'm going to share that stuff with you. So come back and see me in the next couple of days or whenever, and depending on when you've seen this video, you know, the next one will either already be posted, or you might have to wait a few days for it. But I'm going to share that stuff with you guys, just so that you can see that it doesn't start out making you money. No one starts out making money. You need the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 view time hours, which is 240,000 view time minutes. That's astronomical to you and me. It's not astronomical to someone who's getting 1 million minutes of view time a day. These people are making money, and it's all very possible to make happen. So, number one, if you like this video and you think there's some value to it, give me one of these things. Share me with your friends that you know are trying to start a YouTube video themselves. By all means, subscribe. Now, my intention was not to give out advice on YouTube, because I'm the least of all candidates qualified to do that. My whole objective with my YouTube channel was to get my music heard. I'm a songwriter, I'm a musician. I'm a so-so singer, but setting my vocals apart from the music, I think I've got pretty good songs. You be the judge of that. The music that you hear in the background of this video is one of my songs. Go to my channel and click on the playlist that's titled Noel Carol Songs. I think so far I've got 2 complete songs on there. One's titled After Today, and the other one's titled My Maggie. I've got bits and pieces of a few other songs that I've written that are part and parcel of other videos that I'm making. I've got a playlist titled My RV Life, because I live in an RV, as you can tell. And so I'm making a bit of a video about that as well. And actually a series of videos. I only have one posted right now, episode 1. But actually, you know, there's a little bit of buzz on that. I think I've had 40 views so far, so if you can call that a buzz. Maybe I've been smoking the wrong stuff this morning. So anyway, I hope to see you back. Leave me a comment. Give me some encouragement. I will most definitely give you some encouragement back. Okay? Talk to you soon, guys and gals. Have fun.